So I figured it was probably time for my first update video ever that I can recall doing. Just a video based on an update alone. It's been, I mean, you can go back and look at the date, whatever. Bear in mind, these videos usually publish a week after. I upload them scheduled out a week, typically, usually. So 5-6 weeks, maybe 4 or 5 weeks, somewhere in there, since I made this thing. I've been wearing this every day at work since then, so I reckon it's time for it to get some love. I'm going to oil this thing up today. Figured I'd run the camera, talk about the pluses and minuses to the design. If you guys aren't interested, I get it, but for those of you who are, we're going to look at this for a second. So, get this thing unloaded. Some of you might notice this extra piece, or screen, right here. I added that after the video. I left a comment with somebody about wanting to do this. I can't remember. Anyway, this is my little multi-tool tweaker that I like to carry around. And it gets lost in this big pouch mixed in with all the other tools very easy. So I just wet molded a little holder and riveted that on there. And I still got room to do something similar over here if I ever need to. But so far I haven't needed anything. But, so the wear points on this, where I put the strippers in, I said strippers. So right here, it wears right there pretty heavily. So it's one of the reasons why I'm about to oil it. Try to help keep that damage to a minimum. The needle nose, those go in, nothing really there to scratch the leather up, so not a huge deal. The other thing is this stitching line right here is way too close to the edge. And I did have one small amount of breakage right there. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can get that to focus on that. So one stitch popped right there on the edge. But other than that, this is collapsing enough around them. It's broke in as much as it's going to break in. This would have been better riveted, or maybe even 2 lines of stitching. Definitely not that close to the edge. You can see there's a little bit more meat of leather on the outside of that stitch line. That's holding up. I haven't had any issues out of that. So the rest of it, it's comfortable. It's really comfortable and it's holding up. I don't have any major damage to anything. Again, it's only been a month or so, and you can see the use. You can see the wear. But some things I would change to this design. It's gonna be a lot easier for me to stay in frame if I just zoom in. So let me adjust. All right. So the screwdriver holders, these bits right here, they stick out quite a bit. This big gap right here should really be gone. This stitch line could be underneath that stitch line, and that would just bring everything in tight. So this is the one that's to my back on my right side when I wear it, and I got to reach pretty far back there to get this screwdriver out. So that's one thing I would change into the design, is figure out a way to get that stitch line behind this stitch line and just have a single stitch holding all that together. Now, you can see how I got that stitched on, where this main body stitch is what's holding it. No stitches are holding up great. They're not causing me any problems. It's just how far out from the body the screwdriver is set. So now, I think there's plenty of room. If I was to bring that in closer, I could still get this little tweaker out, no problem. But anyway, other than that, this thing just needs a little love. And so I brought it home this weekend so that I could do that. So this is just pure neat's foot oil, and I'm just going to give it a really good heavy soaking. So we just let that sit for a few minutes and see how much of that it's going to finish soaking in. Alright, now it does get quite a bit darker when you oil it, but it doesn't last forever. It's not like dyeing it or anything. Once that oil dries, it'll go lighter again. But right now I just want to get all the extra off so that it's not getting gummy on the surface and rubbing off all my clothes. And then usually I go ahead and get the tools back in it while it's still drying. Because right now it's soft with all that oil in it. I don't want it losing its shape or anything like that crazy. So yeah, there's some things I'd change on here. For the most part, this thing's functional. It does everything I need it to do. So when it comes time for me to make a new one of these, I will change a few things. I'll probably still use this same base. I'll change how the screwdriver handles get, the screwdriver pockets get attached. And I'll change a little bit of this right here, that's holding the strippers and the needle nose, so that they're just more robust than they are on this one. So I'd rather see a chain for the tape strap than a strap of leather. But I didn't have any chain at the time when I made that. The next one will have a chain instead. But yeah, so I'm happy with it. It's working great. It's holding up to the abuse I give it. So anyway, yeah, so thanks for putting up with that BS for a minute or two, and see you guys on the next one. See ya.